You're in the shower, and somewhere between shampoo and staring at the wall, you've just delivered the most perfect argument of your life to someone who has no idea you're even upset. Or you're driving, and suddenly you're in a full conversation from 3 weeks ago, but this time your response is sharp, calm, unforgettable. Everyone in your head is impressed. You win completely. And then a car horn snaps you back. You're still in traffic, still late, still silent in real life. If that felt a little too familiar, don't brush it off, because this isn't just normal daydreaming. This is something deeper, something your brain might actually be choosing over reality. Let's break what's really happening inside your mind. Your brain has a system called the default mode network. It activates when you're not focused on the outside world, like when you're showering, driving, or lying in bed. And when it turns on, it starts generating memories, imagined conversations, future scenarios, alternate versions of your life. Basically, it creates you without the world. For most people, this network switches on and off, but for some, it becomes the main setting, and that's where things shift. Because here's the surprising part. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real emotional one. So when you win an argument in your head, your brain rewards you. When someone finally understands you in that imaginary scene, your brain feels that relief. When you create connection, closure, validation internally,
your brain registers it as real, which means you can start meeting emotional needs without ever leaving your mind. This pattern was identified by clinical psychologist Eli Sommer, who called it maladaptive daydreaming. And here's what makes it different. It's not random thoughts, it's structured. People build entire worlds, recurring characters, ongoing storylines, emotional arcs that evolve for years. Some people spend hours every day inside these inner realities, not because they're lazy, not because they're distracted, but because it feels better than reality. And there's a reason for that. These inner worlds usually give you something the real world didn't. Control. You decide how things go. Closure. You finally say what you couldn't. Connection, without fear of rejection. You can pause conversations, replay them, fix them. Real life doesn't give you that luxury. But here's where it quietly becomes a problem. Your brain starts learning. Why deal with unpredictable reality when I can create a perfect one? And slowly, real life starts to feel slower, flatter, less satisfying, because it can't compete with something you fully control. And then comes the loop. You disappear into your mind, time passes, you come back.
And there's this strange feeling, not guilt exactly, not sadness exactly, just a quiet awareness that you were gone. And before you even process it, you go back again. That's the cycle. Relief, escape, awareness, repeat. Here's something most people get wrong. This isn't about creativity. Some highly creative people don't do this at all. And some people who've never written a story in their life live entire ones in their head every day. What actually predicts this? A trait called absorption, the ability to get deeply immersed in experiences. These are people who get lost in music, feel movies intensely, replay emotional moments for years. They don't just think, they feel deeply. So they build a space where those feelings are finally safe. And now we get to the part no one talks about enough. This pattern often starts as a coping mechanism. At some point, reality didn't provide something essential: safety, understanding, emotional connection, control. So your mind created an alternative, not to escape life, but to survive it. The daydream wasn't the problem, it was the solution. But solutions can outgrow their purpose. And the real question becomes, is it still helping you or slowly replacing your life? Because here's the truth. Real life is messy. People misunderstand you.
Conversations don't go the way you planned. And intimacy? It's slow, uncertain, sometimes uncomfortable. But your inner world, it never rejects you. It never surprises you. It never fails you. So of course your brain prefers it. But this is important. Listen carefully. The goal is not to destroy your inner world. That imagination, that emotional depth, that ability to build entire realities, that's not weakness. That's rare. That's power. The real shift is this. Instead of asking, how do I stop this? Ask, what is this giving me that I'm not allowing myself to have in real life? Is it being heard? Is it finally expressing yourself? Is it feeling understood? Because whatever your mind keeps rehearsing is something your life is still waiting for. You don't need to erase your inner world. You just need to stop being the only place where your real self exists. And if you felt that, not just understood it, but felt it, that quiet moment where you paused a little longer than usual, then just know this. Nothing about you is broken. You adapted. Silently. Intelligently. In a way nobody noticed. But maybe now, it's time to bring a little of that world back into reality. If you want more deep dives into how your mind really works, stay here. Because we don't just observe behavior, we understand what's underneath it.